time shot, it's time shot. I'm in the place where my friends are, and I know together we'll go far. Yeah, time shot, it's time shot, and I'm still doing things the time shot way.
Hello, people, it's Poet, and we are back on TimeShot. Today is another one of those comment jams. Hold on a second. I actually had to get them on the screen. All right. So, comment jam, and it's going to be an amazing comment jam. I wanted to show you guys, though, first, before we get into the comment jam, if you don't know what a comment jam is, it's where I go through all of the comments since the last comment jam of TimeShot episodes, compile the ones that I think are worthy of further discussion in some way, or even if I just want to highlight them in some way. And then we do that. So feel free to leave comments on TimeShot episodes for your chance to be included in some way in the comment jam. So with that all said, I wanted to show you guys what I had worked on before the last episode was recorded after I had worked on this build, but it was something where I worked on this build during an episode, and in the episode I don't even remember what I was talking about at the time. Now I was talking about, I'm trying to remember it. Oh, the end of the universe. Yeah, I had talked about, that's such a heartwarming topic, isn't it? I had talked about the end of the universe because I had watched this show on National Geographic about cataclysmic things that could possibly wipe out the entire universe. And just how fragile human existence in itself is, and just how it's, all that kind of stuff. And I thought that the episode was kind of heavy-handed in the, what ifs, and I just didn't post it. I didn't want to post it. Despite me working on this build, I didn't post it. So I'm going to go kind of show you guys what we did. It looks better when I'm further away, actually. So let's kind of pull back a bit. In the episode I recorded, I actually only had done the two tiers, 2 blocks height each. So you can see that each of the tiers is 3 blocks height. Okay. Oh, you can really see it better from here. Okay. From here. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's sort of how they were. And then I got a kind of a 4th block on top. But it used to be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And I've now made it 3, 3, 3. Just to give it a little bit more spatial height. Didn't want to go for a pyramid-y shape. I wanted to go for more of a contemporary look. So that's what I've gone and done. I tried to implement the black blocks, those ones right there, because I like that styling. I tried to implement them down there. You can see them just on the border there. I have just a couple in my nether tunnel. I try to make the builds all look similar, but I just couldn't because of just the width of the walls being too low. I couldn't implement them, so that's what I came up with. It is still a work in progress. You can see that I don't have much of a design on the sides yet. I also kind of don't like how the 2 tiers here look the same and then this third one doesn't. So I might change it up still with time, but either way, it is available in the world download to look at. Maybe give me comments on. The world download has been taken. It will be posted hopefully today, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. I don't know when. For February 1st, 2017. Yeah, that's what can I say? It is what it is. I didn't get to finish the little tower things, but I've accomplished so much in those last 2 months. It's mind-boggling. And so I'm pretty proud of what I've done in the last 2 months. I hope that by the time we do another world download, which will be in April, that I'll have doubled the amount of work that we've done. I expect that this whole mountain here will probably be stone, completely stone, like these. This one will be done. I'll finish all that. It's not a whole lot left to do to turn that into stone. And then I can start putting diorite. But anyway, that's really the only major thing that I worked on. I also touched up the Nether tunnel, so I'll head that way and answer the first question. Or not question. I shouldn't say question, but comment. I'll reply to the first comment from Urban Things, and it is in response to the episode where me and Jake were in the end. We explored the end looking for an end fortress, an end city, I guess they're called. And the comment just says, do more Jake episodes. Like it's a theme that I do, the Jake episodes. But I just did one. I just did one last episode. So enjoy. The thing is, Jake is usually, like, if I ask in the chat, we have a Discord chat that is private for us. I say, hey, anybody want to record something? Usually Jake is available. Usually. Like 7 out of 10 times, which is a significant amount of times. So if it's just me and him in the recording, it's usually because I've said, hey, anybody want to record? And he's the one who has said, yep. So anyway, this is what I've started working on now in the Nether tunnel. The Nether tunnel sides are done. They're done. I started working on the roof. And I did this on a live stream. I finished this floor in a live stream where Dave was around and messing around with it. But I've now finished it. You'll notice that there's a different textural appearance to the quartz blocks. And the way I did that, I actually figured it out when I was working on path blocks, is that it's just an upside down step. It's an upside down stair. So these are all upside down stairs. They give it a different texture look compared to these ones, which are much more chiseled out. So I like how that looks. We can create a pattern with it all being the same block type. And I love, love, love that aspect of it. So that's what we've done for the floor. And I started working on the ceiling over there. You can see it. Over here, I started working on it as well. And the main hall area with the portal is here. It's very dark yet. I basically just threw up cobblestone to give it some temporary depth. But I'll probably have to tear it all down. So eventually this will all be torn down. But I wanted to at least protect this area from ghasts and stuff. So that's what we've done. Maybe in this episode I will dig out the rest of that and lay down the slabs. I've got more than enough quartz to finish that. But that was that. First comment was do more Jake episodes. I do enjoy doing videos with Vicious and Delicious. That's what we call ourselves, me and Jake. So I love Vicious and Delicious episodes just as much as you do. Next comment is from the Gemma Grill. And she says, oh, I love the pipes. Not sure if you would welcome the idea. I mean, I did come up with the sewer idea on TimeShot Season 1, but what about building a pool in the path of the water coming out of the pipes? Or another pipe, but more like an aqueduct? Shrugs, but I love how it looks. Starting to finally see your vision. So, very good comment, and I'll say why. Because that opened my brain cells to the idea of maybe having a giant aqueduct style pool down here, like maybe a water catch basin. It would be a basin, right? Is that the word for it? Either way, I'd have like a big cylindrical basin down here made out of quartz, of course. Of quartz? It would be made out of quartz, of course. Of quartz. And it would catch all the water that would be pouring down into it and then would release it like a Hoover Dam style thing, maybe into the river there, into the lake. Possibly. The other idea is similar in the aqueduct mindset because Tort, I think I mentioned this in a video. I'm pretty sure I did. But Tort wants water coming into his desert area. He wants water from my base. Like, that's an idea that he and I discussed just in a private chat we were having. He said, like, hey, I would love for there to be some kind of an aqueduct coming up to my base from your base. Like, all this natural, clean, fresh water coming out of this city, out of its pipes, the water filtration system. Have some kind of an aqueduct coming down and then leading over to his build right there. Like, you can see he's building a massive thing there. I don't even know what it is. Can't wait to see what it is. Oh, it's humongous, whatever it is. But we were going to have some kind of a catch aqueduct. Like, the aqueduct would run along the ground here all the way over to his base. And it would originate from the water source here. That was an idea that he and I had. I thought that this pipe right here would be the best one, or that one. But since I've built this little corner building here, I think it has to be this one. We'll have an aqueduct running all the way along towards his base for him to deal with in his own way with his own technology. That's an idea that we both had. So, thank you for the idea. Did you give me the comment for the sewer? How could you give me the comment for the sewer in TimeShot Season 1? Because I was just copying... Wasn't I just copying Tort? Wasn't I? Were you? Tort was the one who made the sewer first. Because Tortimer is a big Ninja Turtles fan, much like me. But he took it a step further and actually built a sewer under his base. And it might have been you. It was someone. I thought it was me, because I take credit for everything. Came up with the idea to also have sewers connecting the multiple bases, the various bases, to have some kind of like an underground boating system. So I thought that was me. Okay, you came up with it. I fully expect that someone else came up with it. I take credit for many things, but I admit fully that I don't ever remember doing anything. I don't remember what I ate. Did I eat breakfast? I did. I don't remember what I ate for breakfast today because I didn't eat breakfast. That is a fact. I am actually pretty hungry now that I think about it. If I didn't remember to eat, I probably wouldn't. Next comment. And this is a long one, and it is a heartfelt one. But I wanted to focus on it despite its length. I definitely wanted to highlight it in some way and maybe give my thoughts on it. And it's from, I think I've answered several of their comments before. But hey, you make good comments, you're going to get featured more than once. It's just the way that it goes, right? I got dirt. Okay. This one's from Salty Hamster, and they say, I think that I personally have an extreme lack of confidence in myself, but I really don't know why. I'm a freshman in high school, and I don't get bullied at all, but for some reason, I just feel like whenever I talk, there's someone judging me. For example, in one of my classes, there are only 9 students, and we all are friends and know each other well. However, I still feel as though if I say anything, they will think that I am stupid or something. All of them are really talkative and outgoing, and I just wish that I could be that way, but I can't make myself do it. I instead sit there quietly and don't really say anything at all unless someone speaks to me directly. Sometimes I really hate myself for being like this, but I can't push myself to be more like they are. Like I said, I am not bullied at all, and I consider myself sort of good looking, but I still feel like there are people whispering behind my back in the halls or thinking that I'm a weirdo. I don't know what to do with myself or how to act when I'm at school because of this, and it's hard to be myself when I feel like everyone is watching me at every second. I know that this is just all in my head, but I can't get past it. I just want to be different and not some awkward kid who doesn't say anything at all. If anyone feels the same way, please let me know, because I want to know how to deal with it personally. That's a great comment, and I haven't dedicated a lot of time into figuring out how to reply to it, unfortunately. Except that, yeah, the point really isn't, that people might be talking about you behind your back. Because it's probably all in your head, like you said. But the thing is that even if they are talking about you behind your back, it really shouldn't affect the way that you are, the way that you behave, the way that you feel is natural to behave. Being a quiet person doesn't make you, socially awkward necessarily. Because sometimes it's the quiet people who reserve their best input for when it's really required. Like, they will speak when it's really important, and usually people hang off of their words because of it. So it's not always necessarily a bad thing, but if you feel like you're not contributing, or you'd like to be more part of the group in some way, I mean, my only advice is to just keep trying to do it. Even if it makes you look stupid, hey, at least then you'll know you look stupid. You know what I mean? Like, what's the worst that can happen, right? Is that, oh no, they will think that you're weird, that they'll think you're some big weirdo, that you say weird things and we don't really like you for it. But hey, at least then you'll know that it's not all just in your head, and that hey, you are some weirdo. Maybe that doesn't make things any better. Maybe it instead makes things worse. But I think my point still is that you just have to try it. And I think from personal experience, you'd be very, very surprised to find out that people just really, they don't hang, like, do you hang on what people say? What other people say? If someone says something weird, do you consider it for days and contemplate it for hours and think about it for weeks on end? Like, why did they say this? They're sure a weird person. I don't like them because of the things that they say. Maybe you do. I don't know. I don't think I've ever thought about people in that way. I can't remember a time when someone said something and immediately I was like, oh God, they're weird. And that's sort of one of the things that I think that maybe when I realized that I didn't act that way, I realized that other people more than likely weren't acting that way with me either. It's just that, like, you can think for days that people are going to find you to be a weirdo, but they're probably not. Like you said, it's all in your head. If someone says something and it's weird, I actually take time to, like, point it out and laugh at them. Maybe that breaks the ice in conversation. If you don't have someone in your group to do that for you, you should be able to do that for yourself. If you say something stupid and you think, did that sound stupid? Say that. Say that openly. If you say something really awkward and you're thinking back in your head, wait, did that come out right? Then you got to say openly, I don't think that came out right. And people will either correct you for it or they'll all laugh about it. But the thing is that you can't really say anything wrong when it comes to friends. If they're truly your friends, and I've said this in the past a lot, when someone is truly your friend, it doesn't matter how or why you say something. They're still going to like you anyway. And if you're really just trying to make a good first impression, I mean, do you really want to have a friend make a good first impression, or have to really care and think about every little word you say? Personally, I want to surround myself with people who don't care, who I can be very comfortably awkward around. You know what I mean? And sure, that can be a very difficult thing to do in high school when you can't really pick your friends. I mean, you can, but, you know, like you said, you're in one class where there's 9 people. You're probably in some classes between 9 and 30 people, generally is what high school classes are about. You didn't pick those people to be there. They just happen to be there. When you are older, you'll be able to more reasonably pick your friends, except for maybe your coworkers. But in the meantime, make the most of it, I'd say. Until you can finally say to people like, you know, yes, these are my friends and I pick them and I choose to be around them. These are people who you are in high school with. Whether you make a good impression or bad impression, in the grand scheme of things, high school is a very, 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 very short period in your life. And even if you completely become a social outcast, it's not going to affect you. It really won't. I can guarantee it. Guarantee it. You can come back to me in 5 years, 10 years, and say, you know what? You were right. High school is just such an insignificant part of life. But anyway, that's my thought about it. But hopefully you figure that out. I hope you realize that, you know, the people that you shouldn't have to impress your friends. You know what I mean? If they're truly your friends and they're going to be your friend, you should be able to be yourself around them comfortably. And if you can't be comfortable around them, then, yeah, maybe they're not the right friend for you. Or maybe you're just thinking about it too much. You got to kind of test it out, because you'll see. If you can be yourself and have people still like you, those are the friends you keep forever. But anyway, that leads me into the next question. It doesn't really lead me into the next question unless I skipped one. I won't skip it. There's one in between. So stay on that thought about high school, growing up, and all that kind of stuff. But let's answer another comment. I keep calling them questions. Comment first from Jack DeJulio says, Poet, your nether tunnel looks great, but isn't Star making a nether hub that won't be connected? Dun, dun, dun! Dun, dun, dun! Like, no, that's, okay. Listen. Jake had the same thought. Penny said to Jake the same exact comment. Because Jake told me, Penny said that she was laughing that you're making this huge elaborate tunnel and it won't be connected. Listen. You can make a nether hub on the other side of the nether. You can make it above the nether. It doesn't change where my portal is. My portal is in these coordinates because that's where my base is. That's why this portal is here. This portal is never moving no matter where the hub is. The hub could be at the end of this tunnel. The hub could be over that way. The hub could be under us. The hub could be over us. Wherever. This portal is not moving. I wanted a massive hallway coming towards the portal like this so that you could stand on one end of it and look down to the other and just think, wow, this is a massive, like, this looks like an elaborate, just, it looks so cool. It looks epic. The height of it, the width of it, it looks like a lot of work has been put into it. And I like that. I like that look. That look would never change no matter what. Even if the hub were like moved right here, right under my feet, this tunnel would still be here. And then I'd have to figure out a way to get down there. But this hallway will not change. Okay? So the nether hub, the new nether hub, is right around here. It's right over here. You can see a glimpse of it. Okay? So it's right here. It's this big bone block nether hub. Looks like a giant star or something. I don't know what. And it's got different tendrils coming out, as what I would say that they are. Different tendrils coming out, and I guess each of these pizza slices between the tendrils are going to be maybe a different person, or maybe a different several people, or I don't know how she's got it mocked up in her brain. I don't know yet. I haven't looked if she's shown it. But either way, I don't know how my tunnel will link up with this, but at the end of the day, either way, it's just going to still lead up to my tunnel here, even if it's a staircase, that I got to make. Is that what it is? Do I have to make a staircase down towards this way? All the way down to her new hub? Like, either way, this tunnel is not changing. So, to both Penny, who has said it, Jake, who has said it, and now Jack, your comment, this doesn't change. And I'm very happy that I've built this. And, I mean, at the very least, if I see that the tunnels are linking up further down, I could actually extend this pattern all the way down to the end of this tunnel even. Like, I don't mind making it go even further. So I'm fine with how it is. And I'm not changing it. Even if the new Nether hub were to require it, I don't think I'd change it. I think I'd come up with a solution rather than change. Like if the new Nether hub's tunnel for me comes up and it has to be like right here, I don't know how I'd handle that one. I don't know, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out somehow, some way. It's not a big deal. Now, let's go back. Remember that comment. Remember the thing about school and growing up and how people make you feel and stuff like that. That comment. So let's just keep working here. Oops. That comment sort of ties in with this next one, in that it talks about age and growing up and things like that. So I did a video episode where I talked about how the passage of time was kind of funny. I just kind of talked about it. It wasn't really a topic. I just happened to talk about it. So their comment is from Ali Y, and they say, your comment on the passage of time reminds me of a quote or something that I read once about how time is relative. I don't remember exactly how it went, but it was something along the lines of, when you are 10 years old, 5 years is half of your entire life. When you're 50 years old, 5 years is only 1/10 of your life. I probably completely ruined that, but the actual quote did a much better job of conveying the idea that as you get older, time feels shorter and shorter because we relate how long things take to how long we have been alive, or something like that. And something like that, and I agree with something like that. And I laugh about it a lot too, like especially the case with teenagers. And I know it's a stereotype. But teenagers out there, it's true. You're doing it. You can't deny it. Even if you say you deny it, I know it's true. That a teenager who is 15 years old, let's say, will think that they know everything that there is to know. And I've made this same comment so many times that you don't know anything. You think you know, but you really just don't know. You just don't know. You think you know, but you don't. Truth. Because, yeah, honestly, it's... I thought that I knew things. I thought I had life figured out. I thought I had romance figured out. I thought I had my future figured out. Everything. I thought I had worked out and figured out when I was 15 years old. And then I had it all figured out again when I was 20 years old. And I had it all figured out again when I was 25 years old. And I thought I had it all figured out when I was 30 years old. God, I'm really, really, really dating myself now. But the fact is, you just don't know. You just don't. I didn't know. I can look back now at when I was 15 and honestly say I was a big idiot. I didn't know anything. I was delirious, if anything. I mean, the things I thought I would be doing, the things I thought I knew, the people I thought I was happy around, the friends I thought I had, throw it all away. Throw it all away. And I actually know some other close personal friends of mine who, you know, whether it's a relationship or something that they got into when they were in high school or that age, or maybe a career choice that they got into at that age, or a little older, getting into university, college. But they come back now and say, you know, oh man, I really have to change my whole life now. Things like that happen all the time. And I don't think just the fact that, you know, you look at things with a perspective of, I now have X amount of years on this earth, so therefore, you know, I know what I'm talking about. I think it's more that we never stop growing. We never stop changing, growing, figuring out who we are, and we won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Miley Cyrus had it right. I mean, seriously, like we just don't stop growing, changing. And if you realize that, oh no, what has happened here? Huh? What's going on here? Okay, this one's 2 blocks out. That one's 2 blocks out. This one's only 1 block out. Why is that? Huh? Because this floor is wrong. That's why. Okay, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. Floor is wrong. Floor is lava. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about too, is like, kind of just, it's funny how this perspective of how old you are changes things. But I think it's because of experience, you know, like you've experienced a whole lot more and you have learned from your mistakes, hopefully, because that's what humans do. And, yeah, what more can I say about that? That's why I kind of wanted to tie those two in, the high school thing and the age thing, because, you know, when you're in high school, you think that you've got yourself all figured out and that, you know, oh, I want to be this kind of a person and stuff. You will be. You will be with time. And you'll look back at high school and realize just how silly you were, and that's just part of growing up. But yeah, the age thing is it's a funny thing, because there will be people who are online and they think that they know everything there is to know about everything, and you'll ask them how old they are or something, and they'll be like, well, I'm it's the funniest thing when you're arguing with someone online, and you'll be like, well, I'm right and you're wrong. You know, it's not a matter of we both could be right, or I'm wrong, or we're both wrong. I am right and you're wrong. And they'll say, like, you know, they'll call you a kid as a hugely offensive thing. Whatever you say, kid. You know, type of thing. And it's like, seriously, I mean, I'm not that old, but I could probably be old enough to be your father. It's like, for example, Beth, who is Wynn's daughter, is 16 years old. 16 years old. She thinks she has it all figured out, probably too. But either way, she is going to be my daughter. So, you know, as far as age goes, I've got a little bit of seniority. Got a little tiny bit of seniority. Does it make me right all of the time? No. Woo. No, absolutely not. But I can look at people who have certain opinions at a younger age and say, you know what? I used to be like you. I used to have that same kind of attitude too. But I've lived double your life. And that's kind of going back to that comment about when you're 50 years old, it's only 1/10 of your life. And, yeah. It's true. It's a perspective thing. It's totally a perspective thing. Because I feel like people should try to learn the same amount of knowledge for every year. Every year you should learn the same amount of things. If you stop learning, then what's wrong with you? You know, a 50-year-old should know 50 times more things than a 1-year-old. You know, it's a fact. It should be. It should be a fact. If you stop learning and you get set in your ways, then that's going off on a tangent of opinion. But I just don't get it. I know that there are people like that. I just don't get it. Because yeah, I feel like if you're 15 years old and I'm 30 years old, I'll know double what you do. And it's not that I might know more in a specific area. It's just I know more about life. Life has dealt with me, and I've dealt with life for double the amount of time. So I've had double the amount of time to think about it and consider it and be frustrated by it and be happy with it. It's not about knowledge in itself. It's about life experience in itself. You know? It's just like driving a car. You know, I've experienced driving a car for, you know, half my life at this point. Whereas someone who just got their license yesterday will have only, you know, 1 day's experience in it. I don't know if it helps me. I don't know. I just don't know. But that's kind of how I see it. Age in itself is that, yes, I do hold a lot of weight on experience. Experience. Age equals experience. I definitely hold that to be true. And yeah, call it a relative thing if you want, but it's all about perspective. Anyway, that's that comment. Next comment, finally. I talked about that one for a long time, but anyway, next comment, finally. It's from Aurabeth. And she says, I grew up on Spumoni. It's the greatest thing in existence. Down to all Spumoni haters. Now, I think I've confirmed since then that it was Spumoni. Although, people say that there was orange in it. I don't remember the orange. I don't remember the orange. I remember it was neon green and neon pink. It was like, not strawberry pink color. It's like neon pink. And if you look up Spumoni, you'll definitely see the same thing. To my knowledge, I think it was only in my house maybe once or twice. And it was something that I often had at school. Probably, you know, if it's an Italian thing, probably Italian kids, parents brought in Spumoni for all of us kids or something, you know, like that's, I assume that's what happened. And I always remember hating it. I always remember the taste of it. Like, maybe it's the fact that, like, ooh, I'll have pink because I like strawberries. And you taste the pink, and it doesn't taste like strawberries. It tastes like it's supposed to be cherry, I guess. I don't know even what it's supposed to be. It's something vile. It's bad. The neon green, what is that supposed to be? I don't know either. It's just a whole bunch of weirdness. Apparently Spumoni comes with like an orange color as well. I always thought it was white. And I don't know if there's maybe like a weird brand or maybe it's a Canadian version or something. I always thought that it was neon green, neon pink, and white, like vanilla. Or maybe even neon green, neon pink, and chocolate. But I don't remember the orange one as much. I certainly think I would remember that too. That's the weird thing about it, is that it's a weird thing to remember, but I feel like I remember just how vile the pink and the green were. Maybe the orange was good. I don't remember. Either way, Spumoni is gross, and you're gross for thinking it's great. So, next comment. Oh, the next thing I wanted to say, and I hope that you guys have made it to this far in the video, is definitely about a couple videos ago. I did this big... I was actually wandering around in the Nether much like this. Oops. There we go. I was wandering around in the Nether much like this, looking for quartz much like this. And I was talking about that broken sewer pipe. And I wanted to give you guys an update on that because that was something where, you know, full panic was starting to set in. I didn't know what I was going to do. And, you know, I just talked about Beth being my future daughter, and Win and her are struggling right now financially because of all these things that have happened. And, you know, you got a teenager who doesn't... She's only 16. She might understand it to an extent, but, you know, to kind of poke again the age thing, she doesn't quite get the full scale of things. She hasn't, thankfully, had to feel what debt feels like and what the strain of finances feels like and stuff. She doesn't quite get it all yet. So she'll make comments that, you know, she doesn't mean it to be hurtful, but she'll say like, you know, well, if you hadn't spent money on this, then we'd have food to eat, you know, and you feel, it feels so bad to think that, because we've had to make sacrifices in so many places and do so many things. And, you know, it's just a crazy thing. This emergency came up for Win, and Win didn't tell Beth why they suddenly didn't have a lot of money on hand. And, you know, it was sort of like, you know, well, if you hadn't spent money on this, then we'd have food to eat. And it was kind of like us feeling guilty, like, you know, we had good reasons. My sewer pipes broke twice. That was $600, and the emergency cost around $500, about $520. And you add that up, and it's well over $1,000 when you woke up that morning thinking, gee, I don't know if I'll have enough money for food. Oh, by the way, you owe $1,000. It's a tough thing for a teenager to try to understand. Win did tell her what was up after all, so it's all good now. But you know, it made us both feel bad that we were putting this burden on a child. She's a child, you know, and a child should never have to go hungry, which is really the really sucky thing about it. So we try our best so that doesn't happen. But I wanted to like thank you from the bottom of my heart, all of you guys who were leaving words of support, even if that was all that you could give. words of support, advice, and the ones who did donate. I mean, I always say this, but it literally affects our lives. Like, one day we could be dead, the next day we're not, because of you. Like, that's it might not be quite that drastic, but it's just about that way. Like, it affects our lives that directly. It's like needing a kidney transplant and all of a sudden a donor comes along. That's legit how it feels. It's that kind of a donation. So the donations did come in. I did get enough money donated to me to help me out. It blew me away. It blew me away. Like, I legit cried like a baby. You know, I got with those donations lots of heartfelt words of encouragement, and you know, it means so much that our community still comes through after all this time. You know, when I was just saying to Win the other day, like, oh, you know, view counts are down, and you know, the financial situation isn't getting a lot better. You know, we could always try to ask the community, but you know, I'm not getting my hopes up or anything. And then I'm completely shattered and blown away. Any doubt in my mind, completely blown away. And you know, I want to thank you, personally thank you. I think I tried to the best I could. The ones who donated, I actually sent letters to, or at least acknowledged personally, saying, you know, thank you so much. I want to just try to say it again, because it did mean a lot to have people donate above and beyond. It makes my world better, and I hope you guys realize that. So thank you. I can't say it enough. But in any case, that's my and the sewer hasn't I'm crossing my fingers, it hasn't quite been 1 week, full week yet. Actually, I guess today would be the day. Today would be 1 full week again. So my sewer pipe broke. 1 week later, it was backed up again. It has now been another week later, and I actually honestly haven't gone down to look today yet. Maybe I'm a little scared about it, but I think that it's all good. It's all fixed. And yeah, I mean, if I can just hold out until I'm married to Win and moved to the United States, and we only have one bill to pay, one house to pay for, and if I could just hold out, oh, things would be so much better. And you guys make it better. Anyway, the final comment on a note that we'll end on to raise our spirits up back again is from Sebastian Skywalker, who says, hashtag pet me, hashtag petus, hashtag Edson likes petus. Oh, man. Yeah. Someone in the comments actually asked, what does petus stand for? It was in an episode where we were building the Tortgen Mule. So if you go back several episodes now, me and Jake were dressed up as Pudsey, and we were building the Tortgen Mule. I think that was the episode anyway. And we said in that episode, you know, how Penny was sort of part of it, part of Pet Me, except she liked llamas. And what do we call it? And it was like, well, do we call it pet we? You know, pet, you know, something together, pet us. And I was like, pet us, petus. You know, it just connected in my brain. And of course, the way it sounds when you say it makes it all worthwhile. So that's become a thing. That's there now, you know. Edson actually probably hates petus, I'll be honest. But it is what it is. You can't help everybody if they won't help themselves. But thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna just gather up the rest of this quartz that I see. And with that, we'll be seeing you guys next time. Remember to leave your comments because you have that chance of course, being featured like the people who were featured in today's episodes were. And we'll see you next time on TimeShot. Bye-bye!